News Corporation's UK digital strategy is in tatters tonight due to the political storm caused by the phone hacking scandal. News Corp boss Rupert Murdoch has been forced to withdraw his $10 billion bid for satellite broadcaster BSkyB. But some analysts see positives in his most humiliating backdown. Andrew Robertson reports.
Just hours before the House of Commons was set to unanimously pass a motion calling on News Corporation to withdraw its bid for BSkyB, Rupert Murdoch bowed to the inevitable and accepted that for now he was beaten.
The big kicker was going to come from rolling BSkyB into the consolidated accounts of News Corp, and that clearly isn't going to happen.
In a statement, News Corporation said, "We believe that the proposed acquisition of BSkyB by News Corporation would benefit both companies, but it has become clear that it's too difficult to progress in this climate." But while Rupert Murdoch has made a humiliating climb down, in purely financial terms, Mark McDonnell sees a different story.
News Corp was already being greenmailed on the BSkyB. I mean, we were within a hair's breadth of the UK government signing off approval, regulatory approval for this. And the share price of BSkyB had shot well above £8.
Which is more than £1 a share higher than News Corporation had offered.
It was going to have to pay much more than it had originally intended. And the deal was therefore significantly less attractive, given the extent of that markup, or walk away from it on commercial grounds.
A bigger financial concern may turn out to be the rumblings from politicians on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, where claims that phones of victims of September 11 were hacked have not gone down well.
It would be, in my mind, probably the most invasive and perverse use of a victim's information in the final moments of their lives, and a tremendous invasion for their families as well.
There's now talk of class actions and inquiries in the US on top of the investigations in Britain. And while no one is suggesting Rupert Murdoch will lose control of News Corporation just yet, he may lose control of succession planning and his desire to install his son James as his replacement.
That may become more difficult if the inquiries point to any wrongdoing on his part. They may be, but I think we have to wait and see really what transpires there.
Already some British institutional investors are agitating for James Murdoch to step down as chairman of BSkyB. As News Corporation reels from the phone hacking scandal in England, in Australia its commitment to good corporate governance is again under the microscope. A leading media lawyer has pointed to what he calls the predictable response from News Limited to scathing criticism contained in the judgment of what's become known as the C7 court case. In words that could come back to haunt News Limited, Mr Justice Sackville took aim at Ian Phillip, the man who remains the company's Chief General Counsel. Mr Phillip gave the impression of a man who quite willingly subordinated his sense of ethics and propriety to a single-minded determination to advance the commercial interests of his employer. If News has taken no action against Mr Phillip in respect of his admitted dishonesty, it would reflect very seriously indeed on News's standard of commercial morality.
Well, the comments that were made by the judge, Mr Justice Sackville, in the C7 decision, which was the Seven Network against News Limited, the Australian arm of News Corporation and other companies, was about as strong a criticism as you get of a senior internal lawyer.
And a judgment Ian Robertson believes will be looked at again as the new investigations into News Corporation unfold.